Have you ever faced a situation where you weren't quite sure how to handle it with poise, confidence, and grace? Of course you have. We all have. Well, tune in to the Change Mastery Show with me, John J. Murphy. Together, my co-host, Dr. Pat, and I will introduce you to a different way to think about change. Not as something to fear or resist, but as a gift. Join us the second Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Subscribe, share, and start your journey to mastery at johnjmurphy.org.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit OneTrueSelf.com.
What if healing didn't have to be heavy? Welcome to The Funny Kind with Erica Gumany, the show that brings heart, humor, and hope to everyday life. Part deep dive, part stand up for the soul. Erica helps you find the funny, even in life's messiest moments. Because growth is good, but it doesn't have to be so serious. Tune into The Funny Kind and get ready to laugh, reflect, and reconnect with the extraordinary human you already are. Catch every episode and connect with Erica at yourpivotalpoint.com.
Do you want to better understand and embrace neurodiversity? I'm Dr. Lori Noto, with over 30 years of experience working with diverse and unique individuals. Through my consulting and purpose-driven life coaching, I focus on empowering individuals with disabilities. My passion is advocacy, providing the tools for neurodiverse individuals to thrive and feel included in classrooms, workplaces, and communities. Unlock the potential of possibility, power, and purpose. Connect with me today at notoholisticconsulting.com.
There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now.
Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to The Psychic and the Doc. I am Dr. Pat. I'm the host of the Dr. Pat Show, also the founder of the Transformation Network, and love to create things like crust busting and Unstuckable. And I get to hang out with the most incredible. I tell you, let me tell you what today's show is about, and then I'm going to introduce Mark. Today's show is the 2026 Dream Launch Day, because that's what today represents, right? And we got a lot of callers, so y'all, we're just going to chit chat for a few minutes, and we're going to go to the phones real quick. But this is the day. It's the Dream Launch Day. So what does this mean? It means start your manifestation countdown. And we're going to talk about this today, but more than that, we're going to really fill the airwaves with the energy in that. So what is involved in this? Intuition, dreams, nurturer, and guidance, connecting to the cosmos. We're going to hit all of these. So some of the things that happened on this date, which you may or may not remember, was Apollo 11. And Mark's going to talk about the other one, because the other one he knows more about than me. 1945, when the world's first atomic bomb was tested.
Yes.
Now, what does this day mean? It does mean to launch a dream, but what it doesn't mean is to launch, like we may determine, the most perfect, neutral, all good news kind of dream. Everybody's got a different dream. And so this is a launch date that is objectively beautiful. There's no right dream, there's no wrong dream, because the universe doesn't work like that. You can pay for whatever bad dream you launched way after you're gone. My esteemed colleague knows a lot about what happens way after you're gone. You know, I get to hang out with Mark Anthony, JD, psychic explorer, psychic lawyer. He's also been called a number of other things. You know, I get a little envious sometimes because I'm Dr. Pat, that's it, or Ping Pong Patty. But Mark is known for gifts and talents and the generosity of his heart around those that have lost loved ones. So when I think about this, yes, you get to talk to Mark. Yes, when you call in, turn off the radio, speakerphone only if it's clear. You'll give Mark some information, and then we put Mark to the test. Why? Because many years ago, he launched his own dream, and that dream keeps giving. Whether you call him and schedule an appointment, whether you see him in person and he selects you from the audience, whether you're getting his book, think about what it's like to be this man who was given a gift that he couldn't walk away from and lives every day of his life in service of all of you. That's the honor I get every time I do this show. And in my life, I had a dream. The dream I had was to live life full out, was to do something good in the world, but I never, ever could have come up with the cosmic plan that my higher power came up with to sit beside Mark Anthony and watch him perform his magic. So today, embrace the magic within you, because we may challenge you. We may get over here. Mark may get a feel, and he may say something like, I taste strawberries, and I may tell you to go start a strawberry farm. Mark?
Thank you, Dr. Pat. And honestly, the honor is all mine. Working with you, we've been doing this over 5 years, like 5.5, coming up on 6 years, has just been one of the great pleasures and honors of my life. And what I love about working with Dr. Pat is that when I'm doing a reading and I'm getting information, she's an objective observer and a world-renowned behavioral psychologist. And many times when people are on the receiving end of the messages I'm transmitting from the other side, you know, you're kind of like, I don't know what that means, or, you know, you're on the spot. And Dr. Pat is fantastic at helping people understand the meaning of the messages, the metaphors, the numerical sequences. And that's the synergy that makes the Psychic and the Doc the most unique show I've ever been privileged to be part of.
Yeah, and Mark, let's mention the behind the scenes people. Rocky, Jessica, who you're going to hear, she's going to bring you on. Linda, who is hot fingers on the phone. So many of you call in and you already know her name. Is this Linda? Can I wait? Can I wait for 30 minutes on the phone line until the show starts? And Linda says, of course you can. I'll check on you. But we're all here for one purpose, aren't we, Mark?
We are, and that's to help people and to provide a safe space for people who are hurting and people who are grieving. And, you know, our intro song says all topics are on the table, no subject is taboo. And that's exactly what this show's about. So this is your safe space, and I always invite people, call in. Rocky and I were in Colorado last week. I was filming an episode of Gaia TV's Beyond Belief about alien abductions and the readings I've done for abductees. And so in our after the show, we were at this metaphysical store. It was a Tibetan store. I mean, it smelled really good, and the folks that ran it were from Nepal, and they were just the coolest people. And these college students came in, and I was with one of the other guests, and the host of the show is Jimmy Church, who's, you know, been all over TV and everything, and Jim Vieira, who he's a regular on Discovery Channel. And these kids
Oh,
walked up
yeah.
to us and they're like, "Oh my God." And it was really cool, And they were saying, "Well, can you do a reading for me?" Well, I'd been working all day and I said, "Well, I'm not now, but you can call into the psychic and the
Yeah.
doc." Of course, Rocky came up and started giving everyone cards and saying, that's what this is, because you can call in for a reading here on the psychic and the doc. I would like to take a moment. This has been a week of great loss. We all heard
Yeah.
that Senator Lindsey Graham passed.
Yeah.
Actor Sam Neill, one of my
Oh,
favorites.
no way. I
Oh,
was
my God.
crushed.
Crushed. And on a personal level, PMH Atwater. She is one of the founding members of the International Association for Near-Death Studies. She passed on July 10th last week at the age of 88, and for over 5 decades, she engaged in the most revelatory, groundbreaking near-death experience research. She authored 18 books, did a lot of work with children who've had near-death experiences. And I got to share a funny story, at least I think it's funny. A couple years ago, I was at the Edgar Cayce Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach. And I had just given a talk at an Ancient Mysteries conference about the mysteries of King Tut's tomb. And PMH was very active with Edgar Cayce, and she was there with her husband. And after my talk, there was a reception, and I saw her and John Van Auken, who's one of the most incredible people. He's the director of the Edgar Cayce Legacies, led tours all over the world, and this whole group of people were around PMH, and she was talking about the book she was working on. And I walked up just as she said, "Well, this book isn't about the typical alien abduction. It's about people who've been abducted by aliens who've had near-death experiences." And I started cracking up, and she looked at me, and I said, "Well, it's not every day you pop in on this conversation." And everyone started laughing. And she said, "So, I assume that means you're going to be endorsing this book." Well, I was so honored to endorse this book, and it was released in May of this year, May 2026, Aliens and the Near-Death Experience. It was her last book. She passed, just 2 months later, which was last week. And PMH, I know you're listening, and I know that you've gone on to a new adventure into the light. But man, I sure do miss you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what the show's about, Mark. It really is about, can I tell you something?
Sure.
It was because this is a sidebar. And then Jessica, I really want to go to the phones real quick. But part of this show, sometimes we take on topics that are not about the manifestation launch day and your dreams. And a friend of mine said to me, "Is Mark going to get the parliamentary members back? Because we have forgotten the Ukraine."
Yes.
So, Mark, I'm hoping you and I can make that happen, because we have not forgotten them.
No,
I know
we
we're
have not.
distracted by a lot of things, but we have not forgotten them. And I'm sure we can reach out and bring those members back and have a conversation with them. So this was a listener that heard that show.
Yes.
And I'm not going to, they asked me not to mention their name, but they said I could say this, and we're going to go to break. I think I'm going to have to go to break after this. They said to me, they knew my last name. They said, "Basili, have you lost your memory? Did you forget there's still a Ukrainian war?" Now, it's not like you to follow up. Follow up, or I'm going to get on a plane, go to where you just moved to, and I'm going to give you a noogie in your head. If you don't know what that is, go watch the movie Project Hail Mary. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back.
I'm Mark Anthony, author of The Afterlife Frequency. But don't expect a dry treatise. This book educates, entertains, and reads like a juicy novel.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's been on Coast to Coast, the radio show with me for years. He's a psychic lawyer, but he's the real deal.
This book also provides hope in coping with grief, crime, murder, PTSD, and survivor's guilt. The Afterlife Frequency teaches you my 4-step RAFT technique. Recognize spirit contact, accept it as real, feel it without fear, and trust the message.
Are you ready to awaken the wisdom that's already within you? Join Shakti Botazzi on Soul Wisdom Project, Remembering the Living Blueprint of the Soul, where spirituality meets real life. Tune in every first and third Tuesday each month at 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio to open a doorway to healing and embodied purpose, helping you move from self-doubt to self-love and from confusion to clarity. Explore more at theawakenedpath.com.
Available now, Ascendancy Awakened by Pankaj Singh. Surprising Way to Successes by Leaders Unleashing Potential and Taking Command. When was the last time you checked in with yourself? Leadership isn't just about confidence, it's about overcoming burnout, responsibility, and unseen challenges. Ascendancy Awakened delivers a powerful framework to help you take command of your life and career with the Ascendancy Action System, a transformational approach to unlocking your full potential. Don't wait. Get your copy today. Visit singpowerupcoach.com now.
Vicki Todd is a memoir artist and sculptor whose female nude figures have been featured in juried group and solo shows in New Mexico and beyond. She is also a playwright and performed a one-woman show called Shine Happy Shine and recently wrote a second play, Does This Make Me Delusional?, which she hopes will hit the stage in the near future. You can view Vicki's artwork and one-woman show at vickiworldart.com. That's vickiworldart.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is the 2026, I didn't say that, 2026 Dream Launch Day. Start your manifestation engine, people. Why? Intuition, dreams, spirituality. July 16th is associated with the third eye chakra. Do you see it lighting up right now on you? Do you see that going on? But right now, we're going to go to the phones because whatever it is that you want to hear today, want to make sure we get you some support. Jessica, who would you like to go to first?
Let's go to Jennifer from California. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Okay?
Yeah, very
I'm
well.
okay.
How can we help you?
Well, my son passed about 4 years ago, and it seems to be getting harder instead of easier. And I don't know why that is. And then recently his best friend who had lived with me, him and his wife for the last year and a half, moved out on me all of a sudden behind my back. And it was real traumatic. And I'm just kind of spinning. I need to know what's going on.
Okay. Well, first of all, I got to tell you, my heart goes out to you. And so I'm sure Mark does.
Yes.
Because not only are we here to support you in your loss, but when an event in life like that happens, where you think you're trusting people or you have a close alliance with them, and something like that happens, there is no logical explanation for it. Mark, want to take it from here?
Yeah, and to echo Dr. Pat, please accept our deepest condolences on the passing of your son. Let me see if he wants to step forward. Okay. Wow, I just felt a total connection with a male energy, And the fascinating thing is he keeps holding up an 8 ball, like from a pool table, and I'm getting the number 8, the number 8, the number 8. Now, when things come
Right.
through, it can have multiple meanings. It can mean something about playing pool. In the drug world, an 8 ball has significance. 8 can also be the 8th of any month or the 8th month, which is August. There's another facet to it. If you turn it on its side, the 8 becomes the infinity symbol. But he is showing me 8, 8, 8, 8, and holding up an 8 ball. Does an 8 ball? Go right ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He sends me. He had told me through a medium that he would always the number 8 was our number, and that whatever I saw, more than one of them, it was him sending me a message to say hi.
Well, there you go. So that's pretty impressive that your son's coming through with your special number and the way that you recognize that he says hi. Now, he showed me other things too, dragonflies. And I realize a lot of people say, oh, dragonflies are messages from spirits. But you have to realize I don't say anything unless the spirit gives it to me. And I'm seeing the image of dragonflies. But what's really cool about this, Jennifer, it looks more like a piece of art or jewelry of a dragonfly as opposed to the live insect. Is there anything about dragonflies, dragonfly jewelry, or like a dragonfly with a lot of crystals in it where light would go through and disperse rainbow colors?
That I do not have that yet.
Okay, if I say dragonfly, don't worry necessarily how it applies to your son. What does a dragonfly mean to you? Or a prism, which is projecting rainbow colors?
Just my son and he loved being on the water.
Okay. So we'll put that off to the side. Let's see what else he wants you to know. What he's telling me about when you said how it's getting more difficult, it's because you're past the initial shock and you have accepted the reality of his transition from this world to the other side, and it's left you with a void and a sense of loneliness. And one of the reasons that, yeah, absolutely, and he understands this, and one of the reasons that he sends you the 8s, and there's other things that he sends you, is to let you know that he's around you. Now, do you know what SEAGLASS is? Sea glass. Like I live in Florida, and sea glass, like when broken pieces of glass are in the ocean for a long time, they get smooth, and a lot of people collect them. But he's showing me, like I feel like I'm walking on the beach, and I'm seeing all the sea glass. It's brown and green and blue and kind of misty white. Sea glass. Does anything like that resonate? I know that sounds weird, but I've been doing this long enough to know no matter how bizarre it is, say it. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I do not. That does not jive with me at this point.
All right. Do you know what sea glass is?
Yes.
Okay.
And for
so
me, sea glass is, and I understand your meaning of sea glass, and I know there's like net floats with the sea glass, with the round balls and things like that. So I'm familiar with those, but I just, like I said, he loved the beach. So
all right, he loved the beach. All right, so we may have something there. Now, he's immediately showing me a can of tuna, like white albacore tuna, but I'm like recoiling from it. What's going on with you and canned tuna? Love it, hate it, avoid it, but canned tuna.
I don't eat it anymore. It was okay back when. I never did like the albacore because it didn't have much taste, but
there you go.
It was okay.
I know that sounds weird, but when a spirit gives us what appears to be a minor piece of information, you don't like the white albacore, didn't feel it had any taste, you don't eat it, you avoid it. Once we get confirmations on the smaller things, he's going to go to the larger. Now, radio. There's something with you and him and radio waves or radio, something on the radio. He's coming through to you using electromagnetic vibrations. It could be a song, it could be some type of static, but I'm seeing radio. And the cool thing is, I'm seeing like an old-fashioned radio. You know, the ones with the big knobs, the big dials on it. Something about radio and radio waves. What's going on with radio and radio waves, Jennifer?
Well, in his room, he has a computer and he had a radio, and that radio is always on to his station. And then it also turns on a light at night at a certain time, a timer. And I don't know where the timer comes from because I've looked for it and I can't find it. But he's always got that radio on.
Perfect. There you go. So he's around. He's aware of what's happening. With the betrayal, he said, it's time for you to distance yourself and move on. Distance yourself and move on. He said, you don't need people in your life that are dragging you down. And he said, the reason he's showing me the sea glass is like when a piece of glass breaks and goes into the ocean, you think it has disappeared, but it always returns. It always returns. He says, just like me, I always return to you. And he keeps saying, Michelle, Michelle, Michelle. Now, we all know probably somebody named Michelle. Could be somebody in spirit, could be somebody of significance, either in spirit or on planet Earth, but I keep hearing Michelle, Michelle. But once again, it could be shells. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I do not know that.
Okay, write these things down because I get emails every day from people that during the reading it didn't make sense, and then like tomorrow you may meet somebody named Michelle. Okay, but I'm getting either Shell or Shelley or Michelle, and he said this is going to be significant for you. And he showed me a yield sign. So this person that has been betrayal, it's yield, basically. Don't engage, stay away. I'll leave that with you. Dr. Pat, what's your take?
I'm going to give you the first part of this because this all ties together, but there is a message for you. First of all, I know I want to start with this, but I'm being called to ask you, did your son fish? Did he actually go fishing?
He liked to.
He didn't do it much?
No.
Okay. But did he ever go? Did he ever like go on a boat and go out and to fish? Did he ever catch a tuna?
No, but I have.
Bingo. Hold that thought. Not done yet. Okay. Hold that thought. I don't even know where to begin now.
My name was Michelle when I was
younger.
What? I said my best friend's name was Michelle when I was
Thank
younger.
you. Okay, stay with me now because here's the real important thing. I need to tell you about dragonfly and sea glass, but I got to tell you about dragonfly first. Dragonfly is one of my totems. I love it. It represented the number 8, which is an infinity symbol. Now, I got to tell you about the dragonfly because the dragonflies like I hope people don't see me doing this. That looks like a chicken, but it's not. Dragonflies beat their 4 wings independently in a figure 8 pattern. Are you following me right now?
Yeah, I hear you.
You got me? Okay. So that fluid motion mimics the horizontal infinity symbol, which is spirituality, represents continuous unbroken flow of energy and turning in the bounds between the physical and spiritual realms. That's the message from your son. You know, I'm not Mark, but I got to share these words, and Mark can correct me. But what I'm hearing is grieve no more. I'm always with you. And then this goes on to really talk about, I'm going to get into the sea glass, but to Mark's point and message is that the dragonfly, it's not just about potential and so many other things. My association with dragonfly, there's so much my totem, if I'm around them, they land on me. You got it? So what was the message I've learned? Their major message is trust your journey. They represent cycles of growth, right? Interconnectedness. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't know when the last time was you talked to your friend Michelle. I don't know. But that's something. Okay, hello, there we go, right? Interconnectedness.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say to you is, and I rarely do this, so I don't want to get in trouble. I highly recommend one of the most beautiful pieces of sea glass I have ever seen, done by my friend who does glass work, who wouldn't give me this, by the way, is Dragonfly Sea Glass.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And if you don't believe me, you can start to go online. But I highly recommend, if you got a few bucks, to find one that calls to you both, not just you. You know what I'm saying? You both?
Yeah, me and my son.
You know, you and your son. But not to mourn him or grieve him anymore. Now, the last thing I want to say, I'm an expert on psychological contract violation, which basically means broken promises, and you're suffering from that more than you are grieving your son right now. When somebody builds a relationship with us and then they just act, I can't cuss on here, but if you were on my other show, I'd be cussing now. What I want to say is, when people behave like that, dysfunction is a nice way to describe them. It's cruel.
Yep.
Let them go. They're not your future.
Okay.
And in fact, they may have been holding you back from taking action on your own behalf. That's what I got for you today.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that too, because it was kind of like a mixed blessing, because since he was around and was here when my son was here, and they'd known each other since they were 2, it was hard to see him and hard to have
Exactly.
To have him
You
here.
can't move on. We can't move on with that. But now the dragonfly is telling you about infinity. It's telling you to beat the heck out of your wings. It's telling you to look at the numerology of what the symbol 8 is. Symbol 8 is power, abundance, and infinite flow. You can't be of infinite flow when every day you are reminded. Every day you are reminded. You know, I had a friend whose dad was in Nazi Germany, Jewish dad, and he had the number, like the Mark, help me, the number tattooed. The number that the Nazis would put in your arm. He had the number. And he would walk around with that every day. And his daughter said to him one day, Dad, I know you wear that to remind yourself, but do you really need to remind yourself and the rest of us? Can we go to the tattoo shop? Now, here's the punchline. You ready? They go to the tattoo shop and they get a tattoo. What do you think that number was turned into? The spine of a dragonfly.
Wow.
I'm gonna leave you at that. Now, don't be calling us saying Dr. Pat told me to get a tattoo. If you get a tattoo, great. But you got to move on. Your son is here. The dragonfly is here. The number's here. Everything's here for you. You know why? You're worth it.
And I have one suggestion. Are you a member of Helping Parents Heal?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good. Keep working with Helping Parents Heal. Do their online events. If there's a local chapter, go to it. It's a beautiful organization because you should not have to go through this alone. And I know there's a lot of parents feeling the way you are, that, you know, things are supposed to get better, but then you feel they don't. That's because grief doesn't follow a set format. This is your pain, your grief, but there are other people who are going through what you are as well.
Yeah.
So reach out to them.
Yeah. And I want to tell you this. What are you doing tomorrow? Okay, if it's personal, don't share. But I want to know what you're doing tomorrow, because I want you to do something tomorrow different than you've done for the past year. What could you do tomorrow to break up an energetic pattern?
I don't know. I'm such a boring person now.
No, God, you're not boring. Are you kidding? Boring people don't get readings like this, and they certainly don't manifest dragonfly sea glass. So let me say this to you. What if you got up tomorrow and you started to look for stores that sell sea glass?
Okay.
Oh, come on. You got to sound a little bit more exciting than that. I'm more excited about it than you are. Are you kidding? I mean, if you live closer to me, we'd go get the dang sea glass together. But what I'm trying to say to you, break the pattern. You cannot wake up tomorrow and do the same ritual. If you have coffee, go out and get it. You see what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, I do.
All right. That's it. I want you to call us in 2 weeks.
Okay, I will. Thanks, Pat.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Oh my gosh, the dragonfly. Do you know the dragonfly? Jessica, we're ready for next. The dragonfly is also in indigenous cultures, the Native American culture. It's swift change.
Yes, and it's
What just
transformative as
What
well.
just happened? Hello.
Yeah. I
got
like
so
them because
excited
they.
about that I was going to get my dragonfly down from the window, but I thought not. Okay, Jessica, who we have?
We'll go to Denise from Utah. Denise, welcome to the show.
Hi, Denise. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
oh,
Monique.
I love Monique. Monique, you're in Utah? Okay, I got a giant question for you. You ready?
Yes.
Do you say
Yes.
Utah or do you say Utah?
Utah.
See, I won $100. Thank you. All right. Now,
I didn't
I'm
notice the
sorry.
difference.
I know, but I heard the difference. And you know, my friend who was going to now owe me the $100 heard the difference. How can we help you tonight?
I just wanted to see if there's any messages.
Sure. Okay. So all I want to say to you, let Mark connect, and then he'll say to you, does that resonate with you? I know you're going to jump out of your seat because you're Monique, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And Monique is one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful, sensual words. I'm just Pat. Mark.
Monique, I have a female energy coming through. She's connected to you through what feels to me like your female side of the family, meaning your mom or maternal side of the family. The reason I'm coughing is this woman was having such horrific problems with her mouth and her throat, her lungs, her ability to breathe. Now I'm getting this nauseated feeling in the pit of my stomach. So something was going on with her prior to passing involving her mouth, esophagus, but her lungs, her digestive system. I feel very dizzy and disoriented. So this could be from the illness, but it could also be from a pain medication as well. And ow, now my left big toe is hurting really bad. So she was having some issues with feet, possibly walking. Particular emphasis on a left toe. Wow, now I'm getting pains in my low back near the kidneys, particularly on the right side. This poor lady was having a lot system-wide issues. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes, but just not the maternal side.
All right, don't worry about that. How does this make sense to you? Just the connection. Don't give me her name.
An aunt.
Okay. So this is an aunt on your dad's side of the family?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And she keeps saying honeybee, 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 honeybee. Now, honeybees, most people like honey. Bees could mean a number of things. It could be the actual creature, a bee. It could be somebody who may be allergic to bee stings. It could be about the substance, honey, or it could also be somebody whose name starts with the letter B. But I'm getting honeybee, honeybee. Now, don't worry so much about how it applies to her. If I say honeybee, the letter B, all right, what does that resonate with you?
The letter B is my husband's initial, but that's all that comes to me right now.
And is he here on planet Earth?
Yes.
Okay. So that must mean they want to talk about your husband whose name starts with the letter B. Oh, interesting. When they're focusing on him, I get this. I want to belch, and I'm getting digestive, like acid reflux, digestion, stomach problems. And so there may be something going on with him that deals with digestion. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, he hasn't been feeling well for a while.
Okay, is particularly with indigestion or stomach, esophagus type issues?
Not specifically. He has like fatty liver disease, but he hasn't been feeling well. Like he does get so nauseated sometimes, like randomly, and they're still trying to figure it out. But
Well, that's a yes. Nausea, I mean, they got to get me to this, and nausea is where? In your stomach,
Right.
and it can affect your esophagus.
Mhm.
Sorry, I don't mean to say it's where. You got to realize when I do private readings, there's 15 minutes of explanation before we begin.
Right.
Okay, so they're getting me to this.
Uh-huh.
The medical testing so far has been inadequate. So I don't know if you're just going to a GP, but I think you need to be at a specialist. What I'm hearing is gastroenterologist. They need to be looking deeper into his issues. And the thing is, you got to get on top of this now because it's something that can be headed off at the pass. All right. Now, I'm getting a male energy, a male spirit stepping forward. And with this guy, he was a smoker, at least at one point in his life, but I'm getting a lot of smoke, real raspy, dry kind of sensation in his lungs and his voice. And I'm feeling like my throat is just like burning. Burning sensation could be cancer, could be COPD or something else like that. The thing is, he lived to be a pretty ripe old age. He looks like he easily could have been well into his 80s when he passed, and he seems like he was sharp as a tack to the very end. The funny thing is, I could see him like laying on his deathbed with the cigarette going, "I'm going to take one more puff." Okay, so, so I don't mean to laugh, but this guy, he's funny, but he's also showing me. Does any of this? Can you recognize this person?
Yeah, I feel like it's a grandfather.
Okay, is this on your mom's side or your dad's side of the family?
It would be my dad's.
Okay, so let's talk to him. And he's talking about headaches, 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 but he's zeroing in on you. Now, you don't have to divulge your medical condition.
Uh-huh.
The headaches could mean you're under a lot of stress. It could be maybe you're getting headaches.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like ocular. The tension seems to be right around your eyes. That could be migraines, could be eye strain, but I'm getting tension, headaches. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I have a lot of like sinus issues.
Okay. Oh, right. That's in that area. Hold on. Oh boy, he's talking about your diet. Yeah. Doesn't sound like you're doing the green leafy diet. And right now, it's all over the news how green leafy foods are making people sick. So be real careful.
Yeah.
But I know just what people who don't want to eat vegetables. See, you pick it out of the ground, anything can happen. But the thing is, something's going on where your diet is too filled with saturated fats, processed foods, and hydrogenated oils. I mean, this is pretty specific. That's coming from the spirit. Yeah. So you've got to make changes there. Now, obviously, this is up to you, but if somebody comes all the way from heaven to tell you, hey, it's time to start eating some salads and not so much the processed food, you need to listen.
Yeah.
Also, hearing. This could mean a listening issue, but this could also mean a hearing deficit or some type of problem with your ears or eustachian tubes, auditory canal. Anything going on with you, or is there somebody close to you having a hearing issue?
The only thing I think of is just like with like all the sinus issues I've been having. Sometimes it does affect like my ears. Like I can feel the pressure in my ears, but
okay, well, no, that makes sense. Have you gone to an ENT? Ear, nose, and throat doctor?
No, but but I know I need to go.
Okay, so let's get hubby to the gastroenterologist, and let's get Monique to the ENT. Okay, Dr. Pat?
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, but I need to have the caveat. I have a PhD in psychology. I'm not a medical doctor. Okay. But I have gone on my own personal healing journey. And as a matter of fact, thank you, Mark, for bringing up the bees. When my best friend got sick in 2023, literally she was dying. And one of the things I was told and put onto by many holistic people that I know was give her manuka honey, lemon, ginger. Now, I want to tell you the relationship between the liver and the liver mechanism. And, what's called hepatoprotection protection and enzyme regulation. I don't know what your husband has. Can you tell me what he has again? With the liver?
It's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
No, it's not that. So then, may I ask, is it elevated liver enzyme, something like that?
Yeah, I know that he has had elevated liver
Okay, I'm going to put it together for you real quick.
Though,
Okay, you can go online and Google this to yourself, but you really do need to. I am not a doctor. I can't prescribe for you. All I can tell you that the liver mechanism and this enzyme regulation, they have found, the scientists, the studies have found, and for those you YouTube people that are following this, the National Institute of Healing is where I'm quoting all of this. You can really go online and find out the research that matches what I'm about to say. Honeybee products provide a biochemical defense system for liver cells. Got that? Everything I'm saying is online. It's in. I know. I talked fast right there, didn't I? I apologize. I'm sorry. So Honeybee products, they provide a biochemical defense system for liver cells. Okay. So Linda and I just started it again. Okay. How do you reverse elevated liver enzymes? According to the National Institute of Healing, there are lots of articles you can get out there. They also got like a little diagram too, which is kind of cool. Bee pollen or bee pollen. Okay, you can look it up. Here's what it does. It's the systematic reviews show that regular standard doses of propolis or propolis, however people say it, and bee pollen lead to measurable reductions in alanine aminotransferase or transferase. That's just telling you that whenever the amino word is in there, you can look it up. And other things. So lower levels of these enzymes means less active cell damage is taking place. So the bottom line is, look this up is what I want to say. What you're going to find is bee pollen, propolis, these bee extracts, these enzymes, when they, modern studies, YouTube loves this, modern studies indicate that the high polyphenol and flavonoid content in honey varieties prevents lipid, this is language now, peroxidation. It's oxidative process where fat hardens and destroys liver tissue. And it's saying that this is a study, everybody. The study says that it helps mitigate liver steatosis. So if you really want to know what I'm trying to say, when Mark brings up bees and bee pollen and whatever Mark brought up, I wonder if this is connection.
Right. No, that
just guessing.
A lot of sense to me.
I'm just guessing.
No, definitely.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your sinus real quick. Because sinus, you're talking to the queen of sinus infections now. So I'm going to talk from my personal experience, but I'm also going to talk from my spiritual experience. I just want to leave you with this. Sinus issues are scientifically proven to be linked to emotional struggles. You understand?
Yeah.
And I don't need to say any more. Fatigue, irritability, higher levels of stress. You know, when you're trying to be there for your loved one who is experiencing health issues, no matter how fine you tell me you are, I guarantee you there are some challenges you didn't see coming your way, correct?
Right, yeah, just all just our situation overall just has been very stressful, even just all around.
Yeah, both my mama and Kelly Clarkson would say, what don't kill you make you stronger. So let's make sure none of this kills you. You've got to take better care of your emotional state. Mark nailed it. It's not just what you put in your body. Take time for yourself, okay? My God, you live in Utah. It's beautiful.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, let's go to our next caller.
Look at you, Mark, with the whole honeybee bee thing. That was brilliant.
Hey, the spirits are brilliant. I'm just the radio.
Who's next?
Yep, we'll go to our final caller. We have Denise from Pennsylvania. Denise, welcome to the show.
I know, Denise, you're going to hate this now. You ready? Hi, Denise. You're going to hate this. Denise, Denise. Remember that song? I'm so old. Okay. Denise, how can we help you today?
Well, I wanted to tell Mark something that happened after I was on one of his group readings over a year ago.
Okay.
Hi, I'm just delighted to reach you tonight. You had a group reading. You had 6 people, and I was one of them. And it just so happened I was the only one of the 6 that was there because I had lost a child. And
sorry.
And you were very kind. But just before my turn ended, you said, "Wait," and you said, "Andrew is trying to show you have this problem coming with this tooth in your mouth," and you even put like your finger up along your jaw and say, and like it's way in the back, can't tell if it's the last tooth or the next to the last. And I was thinking, oh, well, that makes sense. And if it's coming from the Akashic records, that could be that could be true too. I don't quite understand sometimes where the information comes from, and I thought, well, and I think I said to you, well, yeah, I think that's kind of accurate, but it's the lower jaw, but we'll see. Well, in January, I went to my regular dentist, and the hygienist was doing a cleaning, and she said, well, do you have any complaints? And I said, well, not really. It's just above this bridge on my upper jaw. It feels puffy. It doesn't hurt, but it feels puffy. And so she couldn't find anything. And she said, I'll call the dentist in. And then she said, but let me have one more look. And she looked at the back of the mouth. And I don't know why she didn't do both the first time, but she said, oh, I see what you mean. So the dentist comes in and he takes a look and he takes this little hammer and, knocks on the teeth there. And he said, I don't think it's the bridge. He said, it looks like it's the molar next to it. He said, I can't tell you with accuracy without a 3D exam because 2-dimensional X-rays don't really find things, in the roots like that. So I think you should go to an endodontist. So I did, and guess what, Mark? It turned out that I don't know, 50-year-old root cap had a tooth under it that may or may not have been cracked, but there sure was a lot of tissue loss, and that was causing the sensitivity.
Wow.
Yeah. Where that comes from, and you indicated that I said your son Andrew wants you to know this. It was coming from Andrew, because spirits are pure energy, and I explain in my book, The Afterlife Frequency, how they are pure electromagnetic energy. We all are. They just are in a much higher vibrational form, and a spirit can scan your whole body, and they pick up on anomalies. And it's also spirits can see future events. So he said, this issue is going on. You need to get it taken care of. And it is so astonishing that spirits are not only able to do this, but and I want to thank you for calling in for that validation, because a lot of times when I deliver information to people, they don't know what happened, because spirits not only can see that, but they can also see future events. So I'm glad that you got it taken care of. And hold on, let's see if Andrew has anything else for you. Okay.
Aww.
I'm getting a small dog, a little tiny fluffy dog. Okay, who's got the fluffy dog, or is there a little fluffy dog in spirit?
There's a little fluffy dog in spirit, Stella.
Stella, okay. Andrew has this little fluffy dog, and she is just the coolest little dog. And I feel she's real warm, real sweet, and and the type that always wanted to sleep near your head. So I guess you would climb up and get like near your pillow, but not annoying. Like, she just wanted to be in close proximity. Okay. And he wants you to know that she is there with him. And he said, Mom, splurge and have a hot fudge sundae. Okay. Now, that could mean go have a hot fudge sundae, but that could also indicate the day of the week Sunday. So there may be something coming up this Sunday, or for example, my mom passed on a Thursday. I'll never forget that. But I think the context of splurge and go have a hot fudge sundae is more of the ice cream sundae. And of course, most people like sundaes, but is there anything in particular about the day of the week sundae or a hot fudge sundae that just leaps out at you?
Not the hot fudge sundae, but I was thinking as soon as you started to say that, he's saying, oh, you took care of it before it became a problem, and now you can, treat yourself. So that's
there you
what
go.
I started to feel.
Okay, I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Pat.
I got to go quick, so I'm going to
thank
ask
you,
you a couple of quick, is the tooth taken care of now?
Yes, I had to have it pulled.
Okay. So can I ask you right side or left side?
Left side.
Okay. So a couple things that may not have gotten taken care of, even though you got your tooth yanked. You ready? First of all, okay, so I'm going to go quick because I want to make sure you get this. A couple of things are related. This is a somatic nervous system issue. And when we're looking at the jaw, it has two things in mind. We're talking about the jaw, the throat, right? This is Vishuddha. It's the center of communication choice, right? So that's number one thing. If you have been suppressing your voice in any arena, you don't have to share it, but if you have been, you need to really look at that. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't need to tell you.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about.
I know you are. I don't want to bring it up personally with you, but just because you got your tooth pulled, this ain't going away.
Oh, I see. I used to be a tooth clencher, and that was probably putting pressure.
Thank
on it
you.
Too,
Boom. That's the next thing.
There you go. Dr.
Tension,
Pat scores
tension,
again.
Discomfort. This is about the burden of control, sister. Unprocessed frustration. And you want to hear a good one? Swallowing your truth. Any of that you relate to? Now I'm taking Mark's line. Do you relate to any of that?
More the control problem,
lower jaw pain, tension.
I have a hard time I have to hold things back from the few people
this
still
is
left
the
in my life.
this is the message from your child. Hello. Burden of control, lower jaw pain, tension may mean you're holding on to things too tightly and refuse to let go, especially emotions. So therefore, treat yourself to a sundae. Now, a sundae is not going to get rid of this. It's just going to make you feel better. But the message for you is you got to look at this thing. Okay? Clenching of the teeth also talks about anger, rage, feeling powerless in a situation. And I bet when you get off...
I don't think I clench anymore, but I did it for many years, and that could have been the reason for the damage to that area.
It is. But if you don't get the underlying throat... Of course you're doing better. You got the thing yanked out, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Look, all I'm trying to say is be aware and call in again. Just be aware of what's going to show up next.
I really have another big question to ask Mark, but it would take longer. So I will.
Can you call in? If you call in next time, we'll put you to the front and we'll get you on. Because I guarantee you by the next time you call in, not only are you going to have that question, you're going to have more questions based on what we just told you.
And for all the listeners, I'm going to be in Houston next week at Body, Mind, and Soul of Houston. And please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. I got a lot of tour events coming up. And the Psychic and the Doc will be back next week and every week on Thursday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Pat. God bless all of you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife.
Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.